Good afternoon. Today is Monday, February the 6th, 2023. Welcome to the City of Glens Falls Water and Sewer Commission meeting. Mayor Collins is unable to join us today, and Superintendent Norton is at a conference in New York City. So we'll do our best to get through without him. I guess the first order of business is public participation, and I don't see anybody out there, so we'll move right along. Billing issues. I believe there is one billing issue included in our packet for this meeting in regards to a property at 68 Platt Street. I don't know if all the commissioners have had a chance to review that memo. Anybody have any thoughts for discussion?
Well, I know the gentleman. It's not some rundown income property. The kid bought it, lived in half with his wife, family, and rented the other half. Then he finally moved into another house in the city and rented both sides of it. He's put siding on it. He's renovated it. It's not just some, thing. It's a rundown thing. There was an issue there, I guess. I did get a chance to talk to him, but the police, he couldn't get in to see the apartment. The guy wouldn't let him in, and I don't know how that all boiled down. But
his letter explains pretty well what's going on there. Basically, over the last 6 to 9 months, he's been experiencing a slight increase in his meter, and now he's up to basically 4 times what his normal usage was. So I guess I don't know if anybody else has any comments or thoughts.
The sticking point for me on this was reading that the tenant got to lock the door, even though it was probable. Like, if you hear water running down the sewer pipe in the basement and somebody's threatening cops and getting indignant like that, I don't know legal wise. I mean, I guess they have the right to do that.
But it's an emergency repair. You can gain immediate access. Otherwise, you really got to give 24 hours before you can access somebody's apartment.
So
residential tenant.
This wouldn't be emergency because it wasn't a gas leak.
No,
right?
not a gas leak, not water leaking on the floor. It'd been the same way for the previous 3 quarters. No emergency.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I got the impression it was a while though before he was able to get in.
That's the impression I
somehow,
got.
or do we know what that? I mean, was it days, weeks, a month before he was? It's probably before you bother answering that question. There's nothing. You can't go back to a tenant that may have, let's say, it was like a month or so of being obstinate. There's nothing we've got against that tenant for creating this wasteful situation willingly just to prove a point.
No, I mean, the city's relief is the bill. You wouldn't have a claim against the tenant to recover. There's no privity there. The tenant's just a tenant. Whatever his deal is his deal with his landlord. You know, landlord probably provides water, although I don't know. But
most of the time they do because
Sure.
What's that?
most of the time the landlord does.
Yeah.
And having been in that situation, with tenants, you hope that they'll tell you when the toilet's running or the sink doesn't shut off or something, but they're not paying the bill either, so some of them really don't care.
These situations, just like you said, Woody, that you get somebody who's got a bunch of properties and they rent them until they burn or fall down, and that's one thing. Jeff is not that in the house in good shape, and he did the best he could while somebody was sitting there saying, "Nope, we're going to let it run down the drain and waste."
Yeah, exactly. Bill. That was my feeling.
That's kind of infuriating. Is he was doing the right thing on all fronts and still got it stuck to him, and then therefore us and the taxpayers to give relief. But there's nothing to be done about it. It sounds like so.
Somebody's putting money into their property and
great,
and trying to do the right thing. And I guess his bills are always on time, so I'm sure he's proud.
What's he looking for relief?
I don't know. He just
His bills average out from what I see about $200 a month.
Looks like he's looking for.
It'd be my suggestion to give him a relief of $425.69 and then give him the $200.
it'll be a credit anyway, correct?
Yeah.
Did the
Next quarter.
tenant get kicked out?
It doesn't say, but I would have to assume probably if he was that uncooperative.
Or he's on his way.
If he were one of ours, he probably would have been seeking a new address someplace, but
But the diligence is taken by,
at least he was trying. You know,
Jeff
when he
is-
realized the problem, he tried to alleviate it.
yeah,
You gotta-
the length he went to make it right and to connect
Plus, you
with us
gotta
and everything
encourage
is pretty textbook.
homeowners in the city that are trying to do the right thing and put money back into their
Yep.
property. So I'll second Rod's motion.
Okay, so is there an agreement as to what the,
Just to his
It's-
normal bill, you're saying?
is it an
Right?
average,
Get back to the average of the last.
So
average of,
If we,
you know,
if you
quarter
take his
one, quarter
couple
two?
of 69, that brings it down to $200. So.
Yeah, whatever.
So, can you say that one more time, Ron?
$425.69. And that'd make it a $200 bill for that one.
Which is right in the middle of the two that he provided as an average. His previous two were 182.98 and 214.66. So that's right in the middle.
I think that's fair. And let them know it's a one-time ordeal, that we don't do it, you know.
Alright, so we've got a motion to approve that adjustment by Commissioner Ron Green. And a second by
Woody.
Okay. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is resolutions. Approval of the January 6th, 2023 meeting minutes. Does anybody
I'll
have
move
any
the motion.
motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. For the approval of the warrant. Any questions or discussions on
I
the
have
warrant? Motion to approve the warrant?
Cool.
Second.
Thank you. Item number 4, discussion. Proposals of the electrical upgrade will be received tomorrow afternoon and will be available for review. So the plant-wide electrical system upgrades that was, the design work was put out in an RFP back in early December. We expect to get multiple proposals in tomorrow afternoon. So if any of the commissioners would like to review them, we'll have copies available. I can contact Sheila and she'll make sure to.
Now, this is just for the engineering.
This is just for the engineering portion, yes.
How many, did you have a packet to pick up, or how many packets went out? You know?
We advertised that on a few bid contract sites, and it was obviously advertised in the Post-Star. But I think Sheila's been keeping track. What are we, about maybe 25 firms had copies of the RFP, and once we had the mandatory pre-proposal meeting here and a plant tour, I think that was whittled down to 6 or 7.
I think we're under 5 proposals.
And so we're anticipating about a handful tomorrow.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. So the next, it looks like the next workshop on the 21st is possibly going to be a special meeting. I think we need to. So, the funding agencies that we're looking to get some funding through would be New York State EFC to help with this project. They have recently introduced a new procurement system where you have to go through these certain steps when procuring your professional services, such as engineering or architecture. And it basically, instead of just reviewing a proposal and everybody coming to a consensus on that, you have to produce a short list of firms that you think are your top three. Then you have to interview those firms. So it extends the process by up to a week or two possibly. So I'm not sure what action we'll take on that special meeting, if it in fact it is a special meeting. But stay tuned. We'll keep everybody updated on that one.
I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, if it's gonna be a special meeting, we'll have to advertise it as a,
I already did.
as a meeting?
That's already done. Yeah, just
Okay.
send it to me.
There may be another, well, so to follow up on that too, we have an RFP out for grant and funding support services. Again, out to grant specialists or community development support groups. That what we're looking for is help with water and sewer infrastructure grants and funding opportunities. So that's out on the street as well, and those are due Thursday, I think the 9th.
Yes.
Yeah. So that RFP is not subject to the new
Okay. yeah.
program. So we may be in line for an approval or a recommendation of that work on the meeting of the 21st.
That was, they're getting rid of Bob Murray, that Bob Murray used to.
Yeah, we've used them a lot in the past. I expect to get a response from them, that firm still. But we're just casting the net to see what else
Yeah.
is out there. Who knows? We may end up being the same, but
He's been pretty successful.
yeah. And we're also, I think, not sure where the last time we ended up with him, but he's retiring or getting close to it. But
You know, he was taking it down
Sorta.
a notch. I don't know whether he went, did he go to work for somebody else?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he went to CT Mill, didn't he, which is now LaBear's?
Okay.
he went to, well, it was Chazen.
Oh, Chazen.
And now it's Labella.
LaBelle, yep.
Yeah. So we still keep in touch. Anything else on that? Personnel. I don't believe there's anything to discuss there. Executive session. Nothing for me. The need for that. Okay. With that said, the next water sewer special meeting will likely be Tuesday, February the 21st, with the regular water sewer board meeting following on March the 6th.
Just so you're aware, Woody and I won't be here.
He's sick.
On the 6th? Okay.
We won't be there for the workshop either. We'll be
Okay.
back
The month of March.
So the whole
Okay.
month of March, you
Yeah.
guys will be
I won't
out?
be here on the 6th either.
Okay.
So when we'll have to figure out for the 6th then, if Mayor Collins can't attend, then there's no point in having a meeting because you won't have a quorum.
Right.
We'll only have these two guys, okay?
Is that the 21st as well? Or just the 6th we're talking?
Six.
Just the
Six
6th.
So we
is
can't
regular
vote on the
meeting.
21st for that election?
We don't leave
Yes.
until the 28th, so we'll be here for the meeting, the special meeting.
We can't wait to get that election.
All right, so with that, is it have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Good job, Jeremy. Look at this.